Chapter 26. Don't Let Them Hang Me in a Dress. Great chapter title. Okay, here we go. Truth be told, Forrest squeaked as the warder waited. Mother was feeling rather poorly today. Didn't cook a proper dish, just a crust and some drippings is all. He took a step back and bumped into Ned, nearly dropping the basket. About that raven of yours, Warder Thomas interrupted. What kind of tricks can he do? Oh, so many tricks, Forrest said. You will hardly believe it. But I shouldn't want to spoil the surprise by telling you. I'll just fetch up this basket, and when I'm through, I'll bring Tuck round and you can see for yourselves. Well, all right, Warder Thomas said, but mind that step this time. Devil of a drop, Warder Marsh muttered as he handed Forrest the key. Forrest and Ned hurried through the door and began the long climb to Mattie's cell. When they reached the door, they found her on her knees. I prayed you'd come back, and you did, she whispered. And Ned, have you paid off the sweep? She asked, turning to him. Are you free? Ned shook his head. I lost the ring before I could give it to him, Forrest said sadly. He watched her face cloud as she twirled a lock of her hair around her finger. But we must hurry now, Forrest said. Ned has offered to trade places with you. He'll give you his clothes. But how will he get out? Mattie asked with concern. Forrest shrugged. Won't be worrying about me. Ned shrugged. Don't be worrying about me. Just keep the cell door unlocked when you leave, and I'll change to slip out the tower door. I'm used to finding my way around this old fortress, though I ain't never done it in skirts. Nor I in breeches, but God willing, I'll do anything to get out of here, Mattie whispered. Then it's settled, Forrest said. Now give me your cape. Mattie took off her cape and handed it to him. He held it up before her. Both of you undress as quickly as you can. Hurry. Ned dropped his filthy jacket and trousers on the floor while Mattie handed over a pile of 2 petticoats, a pair of pantaloons, a collar, cuffs, a shawl, a dress, stockings, and boots. Hurry, Forrest whispered. In a few minutes, the two were wearing each other's clothes. Forrest dropped the cape and took a look. Even dressed in Ned's rags, Mattie still looked like a girl, and Ned looked no more convincing, for though the dress covered him well enough, his dirty face and soot-covered head gave him away. Forrest turned to Mattie. Your face is too clean. Ned, get some soot from the ash bucket. Ned started across the room, but almost tripped on his long skirts. You must lift them up as you walk, Mattie told him. Ned made a face, but took her suggestion and returned with a handful of soot. Close your eyes, Forrest told Mattie, as he rubbed the soot onto her cheeks and down her nose. Meanwhile, Ned pulled a piece of charcoal from his pocket and began to work on her feet and ankles. Then the two boys stood back and took another look. Ned placed his little blue cap on her head. He tried to stuff her long hair into it, but the cap was too small. It won't fit in, he finally said. Forrest opened the basket and pulled out his knife. Mattie's eyes widened at the sight of the blade. What do you plan to do with that? She gasped. Cut your hair, he whispered. We must cut it off. Cut it off, Mattie cried, and her hand flew up to her head. We must, Forrest tried to explain. We have to pass by the sentries. If they have any reason to suspect you're not Ned, they'll stop you. Not my hair, Mattie exclaimed as she twisted a long golden strand around her finger. I shall look alive, Ned finished her sentence for her. You'll look alive. Ned is right, Forrest agreed. If you want to keep your head on, you must take your hair off. There is no other way. It will grow back. Mattie lowered her hands and squeezed her eyes shut. All right, if you must, go ahead then and do it. Forrest reached out and grabbed a handful of her hair and began to cut. Lucky for us we brought this, he said. Not many, alas, would consider a good luck to be having her hair glossed, Mattie replied weakly as her golden locks fell to the ground. Not many a girl would be trying to escape from the Tower of London, Ned reminded her. When Forrest had finished, most of Mattie's beautiful hair lay on the stones at her feet. The short spikes of gold left on her head made for an uneven mess. You're beginning to look like me already, Ned told her as he picked up the foreign locks and threw them in the fire. Mattie nervously brought her hand to her shorn head. Oh, mercy, there's nothing left of it. There's enough to let you pass as Ned, and tonight that's all you need. I'm beginning to feel like him, too. Oh, mercy, there's something crawling on my skin. Well, there might be some lice in my clothes, Ned said matter-of-factly. Don't worry, you'll get used to them. Ooh, lice in her clothes and she'll get used to it? I don't think so. But they're saving her. Forrest dropped Mattie's cape around Ned's little shoulders, and the climbing boy's tiny body seemed to be swimming in yards of green wool. His dirty face peered out from the cape's hood. Mattie's transformation was now more convincing than Ned's. For with her hair cropped short and covered in soot, and only Ned's rags to cover her, she looked as much like a boy as Ned. I feel awful, Maddie cringed and writhed in disgust. I'm sure to catch the itch, and these rags have a powerful stink. 'Tis that stink that will save your life, Forrest told her as he rushed to close the basket. For the warders will remember smelling it as Ned came by. He turned to Ned. Count to 100, then come down the stairs and wait by the door. I'll be back by then with Tuck. Wait for the right moment, and when the warders are looking away, you run out of the tower as fast as you can. But a look of horror spread across Ned's filthy face. You never said nothing about no counting. I never learned me how to count. I only know how to count to 5. Just give us time to get to the shed. Then you can come down and wait by the door. You can do that, can't you? Aye, Ned noted. You won't have that lamp, Forrest reminded him. Come down carefully. Keep your hand by the wall and take care not to trip on that middle step. How will I know it's the middle? You won't, Forrest told him as he and Maddie headed for the door. That's why you must take your time and be careful. Forrest, Ned called after him, promise me one thing. What's that? Forrest asked. If they catch me, Ned whispered, don't let 'em hang me in a dress. So that's where we got the chapter title. He doesn't want to be, if he gets caught, he doesn't want to be hanged in a girl's dress. Is that what he should be worried about right now? I don't think so. But it is pretty funny. And you'll notice a lot of times in a story that is menacing and a little scary, at times they're going to throw in humor to lighten the feel. So that's kind of what we've had just now. So interesting chapter, and we'll have the next one soon.